Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers lost by 4 to the Chicago White Sox last night, but they hit a home run with their Black Heritage Night. One of the celebrated community organizations, the Brotherhood Crusade on Slauson in South LA, received a check for $130,000. The donation came from Dodgers second baseman Mookie Betts during pregame ceremonies. Congratulations to Brotherhood Crusade CEO Cherise Breman Weaver. She was on the field to receive the generous donation from Betts. In addition to the Dodgers community support, an all-star lineup of music was played throughout the night between innings. Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Sister Sledge, New Edition, and others. Some real flavor was going down in Dodger Stadium last night. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
It's our anniversary.
Every weekday during the month of June, we're giving away gear from the KBLA.store to say thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580 as we celebrate our second anniversary. Each weekday, a different host will be giving away fresh merch to one lucky caller. All you have to do is keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580 throughout the day, and our host will tell you when to dial in and when. It's our way of showing appreciation to you for helping make KBLA Talk 1580 the most trusted, credible, and reliable source of information for listeners just like you. Here's hoping you'll be one of our lucky winners. But you can always head over to the KBLA.store anytime for the best in KBLA Talk 1580 gear for yourself and great gift ideas. Now, celebrating 2 years of being your go-to, we're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
It's our anniversary.
I'm Tavis Smiley, and this is KBLA Talk 1580. Our phone number 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. I'm still trying to recover from that conversation. Lord Jesus, that was some kind of dialogue, and it's going to take the rest of the day to try to unpack all of that. Some days I say all the time, I always walk out of the studio smarter than I walked in. And some days I walk out of the studio challenged. I say all the time that at our best, this station is about challenging you. Certainly my work is about challenging you to re-examine the assumptions that you hold and doing what I can to help you expand your inventory of ideas. That is true for our work, and that impacts me on any given day. I walk out of here having to rethink my own framework about a variety of things, and that conversation in that last hour, I know is going to have me the rest of the day processing a lot of what she had to say, and yeah, it's going to be a long day. a long day, maybe a couple of days. There's so much in that dialogue. We shall see. Uh, if you are the second caller right now, you win a KBLA Talk 1580 swag bag and entrance into our exclusive second anniversary party on Juneteenth. Second caller right now, 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. Second caller wins a KBLA Talk 1580 swag bag. A lot of good stuff in the bag. And you are automatically invited and entered to join us this coming Monday, Juneteenth, for our exclusive second anniversary party. I said earlier in the program, I can't believe it's been 2 years already. And here we are next Tuesday, beginning year 3. It's a blessing. It's all a blessing. On Monday, June 19th, you'll be hanging out with all of our talk show hosts, some amazing artists who will be performing live on stage, food, drink, dancing, lots of fun as we celebrate our second anniversary as your favorite talk radio station. And I congratulate caller 2 right now, whoever it is. See the phone lines just lit up like crazy, like a Christmas tree in here. But the second caller wins entrance into that party. But keep listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Something tells me, don't quote me on this, but something tells me in the next day or so, we may open up the party to a few more people. We may have some expanded space for this gathering, so just stay tuned. Because even if you didn't win one of these swag bags, there may be a way for you to get in. I'm not sure of that as yet, but I know we've got some, I think, extra space that has come our way at the event we're going to be, the event where we're going to be, the space we're going to be, I should say. So there may be some other ways for you to join us, but it's going to be a party. I was literally in a meeting last night, and we haven't done this publicly because it's a private gathering. But when I tell you the artists, good Lord. All the artists who are showing up to perform for this event, and the food and the desserts, and just it's going to be a good time. And again, we've not published the location because it is invitation only, but the artists who are performing are going to blow you away if you get a chance to attend. And if you don't, you'll hear about it after the fact, but it's going to be quite a celebration, as it should be, on our birthday come Juneteenth, Monday, June 19. And again, we'll kick off year 3 on Tuesday, Lord willing. In case you just tuned in, we had one of our guests earlier today was Bill Banfield, who's the host of a new show called Jazz Urbane. In the next few days, we'll be giving you a lot of information about some new shows that we will be announcing on Saturday nights and Sunday nights. We have a brand new multi-hour entertainment block that we will be premiering on June 24th. So starting June 24th, every Saturday and Sunday night, there will be an entertainment block that includes this Jazz Urbane program, a food show, some other shows we'll be telling you about next week. So we got a full docket around here. We are excited about the year to come, year 3, and just humbled and honored and just grateful for all the support you've given us as we have undertaken this Herculean task of trying to bring you black-owned and operated talk radio that covers the issues that matter to you. As a matter of fact, speaking of things that matter to you, just got word this morning that the president of the city council, Paul Krikorian, will be our guest on this program next week to talk about the case of Current Price. There's all kind of activity, as you well know, inside the LA City Council, and so President Krikorian has accepted our invitation to join us as a guest on this program next week to hear directly from him. It was a hot mess when Nuri Martinez was president during the drama surrounding Mark Ridley Thomas. So President Krikorian, in remarks yesterday, seems to suggest that he's going to handle this a bit differently. It would not be handled as ruthlessly as it was during the Martinez era. But I want to hear, I'm sure you want to hear directly from the president of the city council here in L.A. about how they're going to handle this Current Price matter. So we'll talk to Mr. Krikorian next week. A lot of great guests lined up next week as we kick off year 3. On Tavis Smiley and broadly on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay with us more when we come forward.
We've got a lot to talk about. Good thing we've got 3 hours. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like Sprinklers in the Rain and Leaky Faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
You know those cigarette butts that you see every day? They're made of microplastics and they line our streets and waterways. On California beaches, they're the #1 plastic you'll find. Over 35 years, cleanups have collected millions combined. But no matter where you see them, they're all getting smaller, eventually leaching into our food, our air, our water. The tobacco industry's to blame for all of the harm that they do. For the harm to the people we love, and the harm to you too. Learn more at undo.org.
Here are 3 ways to commemorate Juneteenth from AARP. 1. Learn the full history. Juneteenth was the end of slavery, but there's more. Begin by learning the whole story. 2. Celebrate. Celebrating our freedom should be a party with a purpose, with family, friends, fellowship, and oh yeah, food. 3. Support black-owned business. In 1865, we had little to nothing, but as a people, we've been richly blessed. Express your gratitude by supporting our black-owned businesses.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black Joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/blackcommunity.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Say it with me. Really wanna be with you. Wanna get down with you. Be with you. What you wanna do? I really wanna be with you. You wanna get down? Just like you.
I wasn't looking for that, but when you see it, better get into it. That's what it was. Was a moment in time, or was I overly dry? I couldn't tell. I wouldn't feel unless I slipped on the ground. I'm saying, I'm just trying to be loving you, hugging you, touching you, love with you, go with you, come with you. Can I take it there where our moves is fast there? Let us stare. We don't care. We the red, there and there. Don't stop. Let's make it official. The bond has never been an issue. Plus, you know what I've been through. It's like pre-presidential for the pattern and pencil. I mean, I got it must have sent you because you all in my visuals like.
I hate to step on them when they spitting like that. You don't want to step on them. But the show must go on, as they say. We've been playing the music of Janet Jackson all 3 hours of today's program because June is Black Music Month, and we have a different artist every day. Iconic artist whose music we are playing all 3 hours to celebrate. Again, June is Black Music Month, and Janet Jackson has been our featured artist today. That is not Janet Jackson. That is Slum Village. Their new track, it's called Just Like You, and I am honored to be joined by T3 and Young RJ, members of the legendary rap group Slum Village, who Billboard recently ranked as the 39th best rap group of all time. That's high cotton, as we say. T3, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Man, if I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I'm doing well. Young RJ, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Man, well, brother, good to have you both on. Thank you for the time. First of all, that track is nice. So congrats on that new piece. Let me start by asking either or both of you. I guess I'll start with you, T3. What's it like when Billboard ranks you as one of the best rap groups of all time?
You know what, man? It's definitely an honor, man. It's definitely an honor, and it was a surprise. It's definitely a surprise. It's definitely an honor. We have been grinding. Slum Village has been around for 20 years. We've been doing shows for 20 years. We've been doing our thing, but it's always good to get your flowers, while you're here.
Yep. RJ, what about you, man?
Hey, I just feel I feel it's a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm happy to even be mentioned in those names of legendary artists that made the list.
And, we appreciate Billboard, for giving us a shot, man, and just, keeping us on their mind and saying, here go your flowers for the hard work you put in.
Yeah. Every artist, every group has to find their own voice. You got to find your own voice. Everybody has our favorites. We all have people who influence us, but everybody has to find your own voice. You got to find your own style. And obviously you all have done that and done it quite well, given, again, this Billboard ranking is one of the best of all time. But T3, talk to me about finding your own voice, about creating your own distinct sound, your style.
Definitely, you know what? Being the only child helped me personally. You know what I'm saying? Being in the room by myself, studying, but not copying. Create my own lane. You know what I'm saying? So I just be in the room practicing my flows and just trying to be my own character and create my own style in my own lane. And I was able to get with two other guys, you know what I'm saying? God bless them. And then we all came together like Voltron. You know what I'm saying? And now we're still here today.
Yeah. I love that. Studying but not copying. There's a line for the day. Studying but not copying. I've said oftentimes that the world is full of too many copies, not enough originals, man. Too many copies in the world, not enough originals, and you might as well just be yourself. Everybody else is already taken, so just be yourself.
Right. That's right.
So RJ, talk to me about what you think that sound is. For fans of Slum Village, we know your stuff, of course, but when we hear it, we know it's you. But how would you define or describe that sound that y'all created over the last couple of decades?
I would say it's gritty,
yeah,
soulful, original, and simple complex.
Mm-hmm. No. When you say simple complex, you mean by that what exactly?
Meaning, when we go in there, we start off and we may add, when we're working on a song and we're producing the music, we may have a bunch of songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we got the song done, we strip it all away and just focus on what makes the song the best.
Mm-hmm.
And we focus on something that seems very simple to you, whether it's a loop, that you may be using, and we just rearranging it in a way to where it sounds like, oh, well, he didn't do that much. But then when you go listen to the record, you say, oh, he took a piece from here, he took something from this song, but he just made it sound so simple. And that's the way we like to do it, where we focus on the vibe and the groove of the song and make people feel a certain way when they listen to it.
No, your stuff is a vibe, man. No question about that. It is a vibe. T3, talk to me about lyrics. I love beats like everybody else, but I love lyrics too. Talk to me about lyrics.
Lyrics is definitely a big part of us. We keep it Detroit because we Midwesterners, we Detroiters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely going to put you a street edge, but I'm definitely going to give you a lot of style. So with Slum Village, you're definitely getting a lot of finesse. You'll hear Touch a Pimp on there because that's Detroit. And, so you got to keep it street. Got to keep it pimping. And then, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to hear in every song. Just a touch.
Yeah.
I never lost the cane. I never lost the pimp game.
Yeah. He said, just a touch, just a little bit, just a touch. Yeah. But a touch of pimp. You got to have a touch of pimp on there. Let me ask, because it seems to me, I mean, if you're a Slum Village fan, Detroit is as much a part of your story as anything. I mean, it's a character, frankly. Detroit is a character in your story. When we typically think of Detroit, we're thinking of Motown. And that, obviously, Smokey Robinson was a guest on this program actually a few weeks ago. So when we think of Detroit, we think of Motown. But what you all are bringing, and there are, of course, there are many other great artists from Detroit. There's Anita, there's Aretha. Don't get me started. There's a long list of great artists, Eminem, a lot of great artists from Detroit, Stevie Wonder, et cetera, et cetera. My point is, tell me how growing up in Detroit, being Detroiters, impacts the sound that you guys have created. Influences, yeah.
Well, I mean, it definitely impacted us a lot. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in Detroit, it was a lot of street elements around.
Right.
But the music is what kept me out of trouble. So the music kind of saved my life from not going in those paths.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sell drugs. I didn't do that. I had a crew of friends that we were so into the music, you know what I'm saying, that it kept us out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was a crack house right on across the street from my house. But I ain't go near it. You know what I'm saying? I was doing me. So, but Detroit is definitely seeing that and being around that, family members and and whatever. You know what I'm saying? It definitely affected how I approach things musically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Motown sound, that too. Because that's why we so soulful. You know, with our parents playing those records.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? While we was growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So RJ, let me just say this right quick. There are a ton of folk in the hip hop game, and we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop, which is why we keep featuring all these great artists. And again, Billboard says that Slum Village is among the best over a 50-year history of this genre. But there are a lot of rappers who rap about what they know, and they were in the drug game. They did get shot multiple times, et cetera, et cetera. They rap about the lives they have lived. There are other rappers who are faking it, and they rapping about stuff they really don't know anything about. That ain't really the life they live. They're advancing an image that's really not true to who they are. And then there's Slum Village. But if you're like, to T3's point, if you ain't in the streets, if you ain't slanging, if you ain't getting shot, if you ain't doing X, Y, or Z, and you want to be in the game, what are you making music about?
Your real life. I mean, everybody got something that's relatable.
Yeah.
Whether it's family struggle, whether it's, I'm going to school, but I don't have the money to pay for it, so I got to do X, Y, and Z for my books. I'm working 3 different jobs. It's always truth.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of somebody having the confidence and the faith that when I put this music out, whether it responds immediately or not, I'm telling my truth. Yeah. And I think that the music like that is what lasts and what survives after the style and the trends change.
Nope, I love that. It's always true. There is always truth. But you're right. While there's always truth, you do have to have, to your point, the confidence and faith to believe that the tracks you putting down will resonate with others. So where did the confidence come from, RJ, that you all could do this and do it as well as you've done it for a couple of decades?
We make what we want to hear.
Right.
That's all we focus on is what do we want to hear that's not out there.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go and make the same music and rap about the same things that the next artist is making, why do they need to listen to Slum Village?
Mm-hmm.
So we just go out there, we go in the studio and say, hey, we just going to have fun today. We going to create something. And, that's what it is. It's all art. And we just getting our art out there.
There you go. I love it. You cannot talk about hip-hop. You can't talk about music without talking about fashion. And somewhere I read that somebody got a new Puma shoe coming out later this year. Anybody want to comment on that, T3?
Yes, we got lucky enough to have our own Puma shoe coming out for the 50 years of hip-hop. They decided to choose us for Detroit. Shout out to my man Rick Williams who helped put that together and facilitate that. But yeah, man, so it's coming out soon. We're gonna have our sneaker coming out. It's coming out in August. Look for it. New Slum Village shoe with Puma. That's what's up.
I'm laughing, RJ, because it's one thing to have folk bouncing to your music. It's another thing to have folk wearing your shoes, man.
Hey, it's a blessing, man. Everything is like a windfall of blessings coming in.
Yeah, no,
and Puma is one of those things.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Ain't nobody asked me to do a shoe yet. I've been in the game, not the hip hop game. I've been in the broadcast game for a minute now, 30+ years. Ain't nobody asked me to do a shoe yet. So when they come to you and ask you to do a shoe, tell me about the design, the design process. Like how does that work when they say, okay, design a shoe for us?
Well, with us, it works with my man Rick Williams. It's a guy we knew for years, and he's been designing stuff in Detroit. He had his own sneaker shop called Burn Rubber, and basically we got with him, and then you know what I'm saying. He had a plan for us because he's such a fan of our music and such, you know what I'm saying, a close friend too. So with him, he had the most of the vision for this, and when we saw it, we was just overwhelmed with it, and we was excited.
Yeah, no, it's a thing, man. When you can combine the music with the fashion, you win it all the way around. So again, congratulations. I am mad at Slum Village for that. This new album, we played that new track, Just Like You. Tell me about the new project, RJ.
The new project is energetic, upbeat. We kind of going for like a disco funk soul vibe. We just wanted to make something that's not out there, and come original, and do something that people haven't heard from Slum Village. Yeah. So we excited about it. We in here actually working on the album now and finishing it up. We'll be done in the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, RJ. How difficult is it in a space, in a world where there seems to be a little bit of everything? And I hear your point, and I love that you're approaching this again, trying to put something out there that's not there, as you said, trying to be original. When you've done this for 20 years, not to mention all the other stuff that's out there, how difficult is it to find your own lane? You got your own voice, but how difficult to find your own lane when you've been in the game this long and there's so much stuff already you've produced, but so much other stuff out there from other sources?
Well, I think the main thing is just having an open ear.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to be inspired by something, so it's just listening to every genre of music. We're not closed off to what we choose to listen to. We may listen to prog rock one day. We may listen to Rick James the next day. Then we may listen to Stevie, and then we may go and listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers. So when you go and you have a variety of sounds, you're always going to hear something that you can incorporate, whether that's the synthesizers that they decide to play. And we just go in and say, how can we put our spin and be creative without copying?
Yeah, I love it. They spitting creative without copying. These lines are coming at us fast and furious in this conversation. I love that. I'm writing that down. Be creative, but don't copy. Final question here, I think, T3. It is a testament to the artistic genius that you all possess, that Slum Village, after all it's been through, the various iterations, that you all are still standing and you're still producing, and now you got your own shoe coming out. To what do you attribute the fact that Slum Village is still here?
I contribute, persistence, number one. A lot of people told me to quit 109 times. People have told me to quit. They told me to stop and do it. But you know what? I had a close circle of family support, and that's what kept it going. And, the fans, they always supported us through our ups and downs. So all those key factors, you know what I'm saying? God give me the strength to get up in the morning. And he tells me to keep going. When I ask God, he give me the words to use. I knew that we had to keep it going. And 20 years later, we still blessed to do this. This is what pays my bills. I don't have to work a regular job. I've worked a regular job for 20 years, and that's a blessing too.
Yeah.
So it's all love. You know what I'm saying?
I think blessing is the word of the day. They are blessed. We are blessed, and they've been so blessed that Billboard ranks them as one of the top hip-hop groups of all time, 39th on the Billboard list. Their new album is about to drop. We played the one track from it, Just Like You, which sounds awfully nice. And their Puma shoe comes out this summer. Slum Village is doing the thing, and I ain't mad at them. T3, Young RJ, good to have you on. Congratulations on all the success you're having. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you.
Word.
Thank you, brother.
For having us.
All right, stay strong. More of Tavis Smiley after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
To my thick chicks down in Texas, all the way to New Orleans where the girls could catfish. And in LA, every chick's an actress. Hollywood status with the shaded glasses. To Detroit, yeah, the place that I rest, where the ladies got Sissilalas.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Power outages caused by severe weather are still affecting over 100,000 homes and businesses across the South. Alabama is the hardest hit, with over 40,000 power outages, while power is down for thousands more in Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi. In Connecticut, Hartford police have made an arrest in connection with the swastika that was drawn on the Black Lives Matter mural in Hartford. Cops say 36-year-old Scott Franklin is responsible for drawing the swastika on the mural. He also allegedly drew the numbers 14 and 88 next to the swastika, which reportedly is a powerful symbol for white supremacists. Franklin is charged with intimidation based on bigotry or bias, breach of peace, and criminal mischief. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers lost by 4 to the Chicago White Sox last night, but they hit a home run with their Black Heritage Night. One of the celebrated community organizations, the Brotherhood Crusade on Slauson in South LA, received a check for $130,000. The donation came from Dodgers second baseman Mookie Betts during pregame ceremonies. Congratulations to Brotherhood Crusade's CEO, Cherise Breman Weaver. She was on the field to receive the generous donation from Betts. In addition to the Dodgers community support, an all-star lineup of music was played throughout the night between innings. Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Sister Sledge, New Edition, and others. Some real flavor was going down in Dodger Stadium last night. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Everybody in the house, make some noise!
Is there a better day of the year to celebrate the anniversary of the only unapologetically progressive talk station west of the Mississippi, focused on issues that impact the black community?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We think not. A station that amplifies black voices like yours with hosts and guests who look and sound like you. Celebrating our second anniversary on Juneteenth. We're KBLA Talk 1580. And you ain't seen nothing yet. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Are you a small or micro business owner looking for ways to succeed after the pandemic? LA County has got you covered. Gain access to economic opportunity grants and technical assistance to help your business thrive. Whether you need mentorship or capital investment programs, they're here to help. Find out if you qualify at recovery.lacounty.gov/programs. That's recovery.lacounty.gov/programs. LA County and you, moving forward together.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job training starting at $19.10 per hour, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus is a great employer. Let Culver City Bus connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in the community, then you are invited to join the Culver City Bus team. Start your journey today by submitting an application at culvercity.org/job. For more info, visit culvercitybus.com or call live customer service operators at 310-253-6500.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Janet has so many hits that when you hear the hook, you just know what it is, right? You know what it is. We've been playing the best, some of the best. Janet's corpus is deeper than some of you think. We've been playing some of the best of Miss Jackson, If You're Nasty, all 3 hours of our program today, given that June is Black Music Month, and we are celebrating every day a different, iconic African-American artist. And today it has been Demita Joe, Janet Jackson. Hope you have enjoyed hearing some of Janet's stuff as we have moved through these 3 hours. We are now in the last half hour of today's 3-hour program, and I am pleased to be joined by Arthur Smith, known for creating and producing some of the longest-running unscripted series in all of television history, including Hell's Kitchen and American Ninja Warrior. In his new book, just out, called Reach, Hard Lessons and Learned Truths from a Lifetime in Television, Smith recounts a remarkable journey in this business, and I am honored to have Arthur Smith on this program. Mr. Smith, how are you, sir?
Listen, I'm honored to be with you today, but thank you for saying that.
No, I'm honored to have you on. Thank you for these minutes that we have to talk about your career that I couldn't do justice to in 30 minutes, but let me do my best. Let me start by asking how it is that you found your way. We'll get to all your hits in a moment here and talk about the book, but how is it that this became your work and your witness, this business, this industry? How did this end up being your thing, Arthur Smith?
You know, it was a strange route. I grew up in Montreal, Canada, with absolutely no connection to the entertainment business. Not only that, I was the shyest of shy kids, and I was the kid that my parents worried about. And there's a story that I tell in the book. There's a story that I tell in the book of something that happened to me when I was 9 years old, and it changed my life. And it was something that happened, and I'm going to tease it. I'm not going to reveal what it is today, but it was so significant that it was the first time in my life where I had to step out of my comfort zone, and a shy kid stepping out of my comfort zone. And I learned the power of reach. The book is called Reach because it's all about stories that are connected to when you reach, you find out what you're capable of. When you reach, you realize the difference between a pipe dream and what you haven't dared to try just yet. And I know, Tavis, you know something about reaching because I know your story, man, and you've done it many times in your life. And I find that people, edit themselves too much. They overanalyze themselves too much. And, listen, just because you reach doesn't mean it's going to happen. You still have to prepare. You still have to do the work. Mm-hmm. So what happened for me when I was 9 years old, like I said, it's this one incident. And, of course, when I was 9 years old, I didn't realize it. It was happening subconsciously. Sure. But it led me to a career as an actor, which was weird for a shy kid. I ended up getting parts in some movies, and then I was on television sitcoms. But every time I was on set, Tavis, I was so interested in what was going on behind the scenes. I would run into the control room. I would ask a million questions from the director and the producer. And I realized, that the making of television was actually more appealing to me than being on television. And I ended up going to TV film school, and I got a very good break at CBC Sports in Canada as a sports producer. Somehow, talk about reach, they made me president of the sports division. I was 28 years old. How it happened and how the madness happened and the shock of it all is covered in the book. But then Dick Clark moves me to LA and gets me my green card. Yep. And, Dick was the most impactful mentor of my life. And that's also a crazy reach story. And then that led to, senior positions. I was senior executive at MCA Universal. Yep. And then I ended up going back to sports and running, I was head of programming, production, and news at Fox Sports. And then I started my company 23 years ago. And, I can't believe we've done 200 shows for 50 networks. And you mentioned a couple of them. And, this is what I want to do. It's funny. As a shy kid, Tavis, television was my friend. Mm-hmm. It kept me company. When I tell people I was shy, and you're probably going, this person was never shy. No. I was the kid staring out the window. We moved from one suburb to another, like 5 miles away, and it was traumatic. I didn't leave the house. Mm. So, but anyhow, it's so important, and I know about your beginnings in Mississippi, and then you're moving to Bunker Hill, Indiana. I know your story, Tavis. I know all about it.
I see.
And by the way,
Go ahead.
And all the twists and turns that your life took. And so I know you get the power of reach.
Oh, I get it. I get it immensely, which I wanted to have you on. Let me go back to that right quick. You mentioned your life defining moment at age 9. You mentioned that you know some of my story, which I won't get into now. But at age 12, I had a life altering experience as well. And I raise that only because there's no way that I'm sitting here in this studio today. There's no way that I've done radio and television for 30 years. There's no way that I got a star on the Walk of Fame and on the Time 100 list and honorary doctorate degrees and all this other stuff that I've been blessed to experience in my career. I've got my blessings. You've got your blessings. None of this happens to me if that experience doesn't happen to me at the age of 12. I say all that to ask whether or not, if you hadn't had that moment at the age of 9, do you become the Arthur Smith that we know you as today?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's like when I trace my steps all the way back to that moment, because listen, when you were 12 and when I was 9, we probably didn't realize it was happening to us, but there was a message in there. There was something that was going into our subconscious, and we realized that was it was a very empowering thing, whatever that incident was.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm where I am today. And it's funny because, we all have family. I have young nephews and nieces, and I look at them, and some of them are 9 and 12 and 13, and I think about how important it is to support them.
Yes.
And, Tavis, one of the things that I believe, and I was fortunate, I say it's easier to reach when you're reaching from a strong foundation, right? And that foundation was my parents. When I say a strong foundation, it's like I use the analogy. If you're standing on a table and the table is sturdy and you go up to change the light bulb, it's much easier than standing on a table that's wobbly. For me, that foundation was my parents. And I was blessed with great parents. And I talk a lot about them in the book and the effect that they had on me. Now, not everybody has great parents, and not everybody, had the blessing that I did. But that doesn't mean you can't build a strong foundation. And sometimes that strong foundation can come from your grandparents, and sometimes it can come from your friends. But it's important. We all need people, because you don't get there alone. It just doesn't happen.
Nope. I say all the time that we are who we are because somebody loved us. We are who we are because somebody loved us, and I take your point. Let me ask you right quick. I'm watching my clock here. There's been a lot of talk of late, sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for bad reasons. But Jeff Zucker, who I've known for many, many years, has been in the news a lot of late, and I raise it only because he was a wonderkin back in the day, in his 20s. This guy was running the Today Show and running NBC News, and he's had an amazing career. And you were sort of a wonder kid yourself. At 28, here you are running a major outfit. When you look back on it, what do you take away from having that much authority, that much power, that much control in this industry at the age of 28?
Listen, I whatever job I'm in, at least when I start that job, I'm in it, for what it is. I'm not looking too far ahead. So I was very happy being an executive producer at CBC. I had produced 3 Olympic Games, and they had come to me and said, we want to make you head of the sports division. And at first my reaction was, I'm not sure I'm right for this. I mean, I know TV, but I don't know. At least I thought I did. At least I think I do. But I don't know marketing and negotiating and sales. And they said, don't worry, you'll learn. And, I must admit to something, that when I was so young, I don't think I appreciated, what I had.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And one of the lessons of my life, I don't believe in regrets. I just don't. I believe everything's meant to be. But the one thing I did learn as I got older is that there is a danger to overreaching. There is a danger in that sometimes that when you're someone who's always looking ahead and you are ambitious, you tend to not appreciate the now.
Yes.
And I've been guilty of that. And by the way, it's something I still have to work on. I'm still a work in progress, but I'm a lot better at it. So when I got to that place when I was 28 years old, certainly I did the work. I took the responsibility seriously. And by the way, I will tell you, when I was producing and directing, I did the LA Olympics when I was 24 years old. And, it was hard, and people didn't really like me. I was like, especially when I started at CBC, it was, I was the one, like everybody went up for lunch and they left me in the office. You got this picture of me sitting in my office. And those first year or two, like I would be calling my parents and go, I don't know if I can take this. Everybody hates me. And they go, don't worry, you'll eventually. And my dad used to say, kill them with kindness. Just do your work. And then finally, which was great, and almost magical that, the guy who interviewed me for the job, ended up working for me.
Wow.
So it's funny how life turns.
No, life does have interesting twists and turns. When we come forward in our conversation with Arthur Smith, I want to talk about that association with Dick Clark. It's hard to talk about people in this industry who've had extreme success without putting Dick Clark on that list. And it was Dick Clark that brought Arthur Smith to L.A., and the rest, as they say, is history. But I want to probe into those Dick Clark years that Arthur had. And again, Dick Clark's an icon in this industry, and I want to hear some stories from Arthur about that. Arthur's book is called Reach, Hard Lessons and Learned Truths from a Lifetime in Television. More with him when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Be sure to like and follow Tavis Smiley at The Real Tavis Smiley and get Twitter updates at Tavis Smiley. The conversation continues when we come forward.
It's our anniversary.
Every weekday during the month of June, we're giving away gear from the KBLA store to say thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580 as we celebrate our second anniversary. Each weekday, a different host will be giving away fresh merch to one lucky caller. All you have to do is keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580 throughout the day, and our host will tell you when to dial in and when. It's our way of showing appreciation to you for helping make KBLA Talk 1580 the most trusted, credible, and reliable source of information for listeners just like you. Here's hoping you'll be one of our lucky winners. But you can always head over to the KBLA store anytime for the best in KBLA Talk 1580 gear for yourself and great gift ideas. Now, celebrating 2 years of being your go-to, we're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
You're listening to K-Trip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like watering your lawn during the hottest time of the day and leaky faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Trip.
If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that's between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022. This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Eligibility criteria apply and funding is limited. For more information, visit covidpaidsick.com. If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022. This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. For more information, visit covidpaidsick.com.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yup, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile. Crest has you covered.
Conversations that matter. You're listening to Tavis Smiley on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Arthur Smith on KBLA Talk 1580. His new book is called Reach, Hard Lessons and Learned Truths from a Lifetime in Television. So, Arthur, I'm watching my time, but we got 7 minutes between now and the top of the hour when I will wrap this program for today. Dick Clark, that's all I got to say. Talk to me, man.
Well, I was a big fan of Dick Clark growing up, like a lot of people were. And, sometimes ignorance is bliss, and I didn't really know how the business worked. So I did something kind of kooky. I wrote a letter to Dick Clark. I wrote this long letter. When I became head of CBC Sports when I was young, television is my first love. Sports is a close second. But I felt so fortunate that I was able to do what I had accomplished, by such a young age in sports. So I said, I want to try other things. And so I wrote this letter to Dick Clark, this long, rambling letter about my life and my career and my passion. And he wrote me back. And then he said, come to LA and I want to talk to you. And I sat down, and Dick and I, right from the very beginning, by the way, I should say, how warm he was, how humble he was, how disarming he was. And we spoke for 2 hours. And at the end of it, he said, he was always very honest. I have no idea what to do with you, but I like you. And he said, I will call you in a few weeks. And then eventually he called and offered me the job. And I went to work with him, and he was amazing. I learned a ton from Dick. But there's a story that's not in the book that I'll share with you, because Dick was very competitive. Dick was looking for a reference. So he called this gentleman in Canada by the name of Harold Greenberg, who was kind of like a mogul in Canada. He produced the movie Porky's, and he owned cable channels. He was also Dick Clark's distributor for his programs in Canada. And he called Harold, and he said, hey, Harold, do you know this guy, Arthur Smith? And Harold says, yeah, Dick, he's the head of CBC Sports. He's a young guy. He goes, I'm thinking I'm going to offer him a job in the next week. And Dick goes, oh, thank you very much, Harold. I got to go. Hangs up, calls me, offers me the job. So, but that was Dick. He was, I think, Tavis, I think he probably would have offered me the job anyhow, but he did it a lot sooner because he didn't want to get beat by anybody.
What do you think? What do you think of his imprint? When I think of television, again, it's hard to talk about television and not include him on a list of change makers, of icons. But I don't need to color the question much more than that. What do you think of the impact, the imprint that Dick Clark had on our business?
Oh, my God. Dick was one of the things about Dick, and this, Tavis, from living in L.A. and stuff like that. There's a lot of people in L.A. who think just of the coast, and they produce programming that's great for L.A. and great for people of New York. But, Dick thought about the middle of the country. He was very humble. He was a hamburger and fries. He wasn't filet mignon. That was him. So, everything that he did was always very commercial. And he was always leading it, of course, starting with Bandstand and some of the things he did for racial rights and things that he believed in. And, so I mean, he was just an amazing guy, all that he's done. The award shows, the reason why the American Music Awards exist, because Dick was smart. He was an entrepreneur. He saw it was the year that the Grammys went from ABC to CBS. And Dick said, well, there's an opening on ABC. I'm going to start the American Music Awards. And, but with everything that he did, New Year's Rockin' Eve, this is an institution. He was a pioneer. He was a pioneer in so many ways, and he's connected to so many music artists because of Bandstand. It's funny, Dick, like I said, he was a great businessman. Because of Bandstand, he owns, the biggest music archive in the business. Like nobody has the library, the video library that Dick Clark has. So what did he do? He went out and bought all the other libraries, so that he would have complete control. It's like every time Entertainment Tonight runs a piece about Chuck Berry or Madonna's first appearance on TV or an early appearance by Michael Jackson, they got to call Dick Clark Productions.
Yep.
And so he was just very smart, and I learned a lot. A lot of what my company is today has been patterned after what I learned with Dick.
As well it should be. I got less than 3 minutes left in this conversation because you are one of the great producers of unscripted television series. Like I said, Hell's Kitchen, American Ninja Warrior, a lot more if I had the time. Talk to me about the present state and the future of unscripted TV as you see it.
Well, I think it's, with the growth of, all these outlets, there's just so many ways it can go. It used to be like, when there was less networks, sometimes game shows are in, sometimes documentaries are in. Now everything is in. Mm-hmm. You just have to find a place to put it. And, but I believe in taking chances. I believe even in the subject of my book the theme of the book is reaching. And I believe that when we do programs, I want to do things that are fresh. American Ninja Warrior, there's no reason for an obstacle course show to be on in prime time in NBC in its 15th season. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of stuff that's in the DNA of Ninja Warrior, and it's a long, crazy route how the show ended up on NBC, and a little bit of good luck. I believe we make a good fortune. This show was a cable show on G4, but the journey on how it made its way to NBC is crazy. Hell's Kitchen, which you talked about, thanks for that. We're in our 22nd season. At the time, in 2004, there had never been a successful network food show. No one knew who Gordon Ramsay was at the time. And that was a reach. Mm-hmm. And that show sat on the shelf for 6 months before Fox put it on. So, listen, I believe the more you try, the luckier you get. And I know we have limited time, Tavis. I so appreciate it. I just want to point out that in the book, there are stories about Dick Clark and Little Richard and Dwayne Johnson and Gordon Ramsay and Simon Cowell and Magic Johnson and Donald Trump's in there, of course, because I have a story with Donald, and Rupert Murdoch and a lot of other people, and a lot of everyday people who just aren't famous. But all of the stories are selected for the theme of the book. They're not the greatest things that have ever happened to me in my life. What they are stories that support the power of reach. And I'd like to, I tried to do a memoir, but a memoir with a purpose. Yep. And that purpose is get out there and try. Get out there and try. Put yourself out there.
Great advice and a great way to end this program today. His book is called Reach, Hard Lessons and Learned Truths from a Lifetime in Television, and he ought to know. He is one of the great producers when it comes to unscripted TV, and I recommend highly his book. Arthur Smith, man, congratulations on the text. Good to have you on. All the best to you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you having me on.
My great delight. Stay strong. And there you have it. 3 hours gone, just like that. Time now for the KBLA Midday Money Chain. Up next, the Millionaires Roundtable with Lynn Richardson, followed by Ahead of the Crypto Curve with Najee Roberts. Old money, new money. Either way, we got you covered here on KBLA Talk 1580. Tomorrow, the best of Tavis Smiley. Until then, thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Power outages caused by severe weather are still affecting over 100,000 homes and businesses across the South. Alabama is the hardest hit, with over 40,000 power outages, while power is down for thousands more in Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi. In Connecticut, Hartford police have made an arrest in connection with the swastika that was drawn on the Black Lives Matter mural in Hartford. Cops say 36-year-old Scott Franklin is responsible for drawing the swastika on the mural. He also allegedly drew the numbers 14 and 88 next to the swastika, which reportedly is a powerful symbol for white supremacists. Franklin is charged with intimidation based on bigotry or bias, breach of peace, and criminal mischief. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The U.S. Open, one of the premier golf events on the PGA Tour, teed off today at the LA Country Club without Tiger Woods. Woods declined an invitation to play in the four-day tournament. He's still recovering from ankle surgery. Tiger has had lingering problems with his ankle since he was injured in that car crash here in LA in 2021. In April, the 47-year-old Woods had to withdraw from the Masters on the third day, and he was unable to play in the PGA Championships last month. Tiger grew up in the LA area. He's the only LA native to win the U.S. Open. The Dodgers are back in action tonight against the Chicago White Sox. The Dodgers are 3-7 in their last 10 games. They've been having trouble holding on to leads. The bullpen gave up 6 runs combined in the 8th and 9th inning last night. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We begin top story with late-breaking news.
Is it going to succeed, yes or no?
I think it's going to succeed. It's going to succeed.
Can you believe it?
Y'all did it!
KBLA Talk 1580 is about to celebrate its 2nd anniversary on Juneteenth, and no terrible twos around here. We couldn't be more excited about all the good news we'll be announcing soon, including the launch of some new shows to keep giving you more of what you've been looking for.
Come on!
Smart radio for smart people. Hey, it's our celebration, but you get all the gifts. We'll be giving away fresh merch, swag bags, and a chance for you to join the private invitation-only, star-studded music and dance till you drop, food and drink galore 2nd anniversary celebration. To stay in the know about the 2nd anniversary details, download the KBLA Talk 1580 app right now. Don't miss out on your chance to be a winner. At KBLA Talk 1580, when we come forward, we're bringing everybody with us.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!